Hey guys, welcome to Brian's Man Cave. So today's another comments episode. I like to every once in a while there's a comment or someone leaves something on one of my videos that really makes me think, or I don't know, gives me an idea, or it's just a good piece of criticism. And I think that comments on videos are quite useful, especially for the content creator. I mean, sure, a lot of people just do the thumbs up or the thumbs down, but in most cases, they are almost meaningless to the creator of the video because why? Why do you like it? Why do you hate it? So comments actually come in handy for that reason. But anyways, so this comment I read, it's on my video, the new Intellivision games I have for sale, where I talk about my Napoleonic Wars and how I'm now selling them, so you can buy them through me directly versus going to the resellers. But anyways, he left a comment. This person left a comment about essentially talking about the cost, the price of the game. So let's get down to the actual comment we're talking about here. So there's the Intellivision gamer, nice guy. So this is the guy here. So at Manicu 37. I probably butchered your name. Sorry. But anyways, let's read the comment here. So sorry, but the price makes no sense to me for such game. Honestly, and that's fine. I mean, everybody puts a value on things, and there's always going to be someone that something to them is worth more or less. Someone might be willing to spend $100 on this, whereas other people wouldn't even spend a penny. So, I mean that's totally normal, right? But then he goes on to say that all homebrews I saw sold on eBay or in some web stores are overpriced. Now, to say that they're all overpriced is a little bit of a reach. I know that they are expensive. Just like buying brand new games, they're typically going to be expensive. I mean, if you want to buy a brand new Switch game or Xbox, now obviously I can't compare the Intellivision to those systems, but even if you were to go back in the day when the Intellivision games first came out on the market, they would have been expensive then too, right? It's more expensive to sell something that's boxed and complete. And, for games like this, like Napoleonic Wars, it was a lot of people were involved in this project. It wasn't just me sitting behind the screen going, I'm going to make this game and then just pop it out there. We had a guy for graphics. We had a guy to do the manual, to do the overlays. We had a guy to do the sound. We had a guy to do, it was a big, there's a lot of people involved. A lot of people need to be paid for their time and their resources. And then of course there's the boxes, which are not cheap, the shrink wrapping, the manuals, and all that other stuff. But anyways, so let's get back to his comment where he says, some of them are remakes and you can get the original game, which is much better for a few dollars. Now that is true. I mean, yes, a lot of these games, when it comes to homebrews, and I'm not just talking about the Intellivision only, all systems pretty much, homebrews either come in completely original game, never seen before, new idea, or you're getting a port of a game that already exists. And of course, it's going to be up to you. I mean, yes, you can buy a game for the Intellivision, or you can buy the same game that's on the ColecoVision or on the Nintendo. I mean, it's up to you and what your flavor is and what you like to, play on. And if you don't care, you don't care, if you'd rather play on Nintendo, then play on the Nintendo. So anyways, so he goes on to say, for example, I saw the Defender of the Crown on the Intellivision. That's made by Electronite. I got the NES cart for $8, and I won't be afraid to break the shrink wrap to play with it. And yeah, so this is going right back to what I was getting at. Yeah, sure, you can always, if a game exists on another system and it's cheaper and you don't care about the console you play on, I mean, you can technically, if you want to play Defender of the Crown, get the ROM and play it on your PC. I mean, you can do that too. Um, so yeah, it really just comes down to where your preferences are and the types of games you want to play. Now, Napoleonic Wars, for instance, it's not a like it is a board game. It's based off of a board game, but it's not a copy of another game on another system. The game that we created, the Napoleonic Wars that we created, doesn't exist anywhere else. The gameplay itself, sure, it's from a board game, but the rest of it is not. And so, yeah, there's always going to be those subtle differences. But the other thing too is there was a lot of games, like say for the Intellivision, looking at say Donkey Kong here, that were just atrocious when they came out. You could tell little effort kind of went into making sure that this was a good game, a good product. It had two levels. Mario looked like Charlie Brown. The Donkey Kong figure just looked like a brown blob standing on the screen, like kind of like a, I don't know, like some say like almost like a gingerbread man. It was wrong in so many ways. But we have talented programmers today, and we have a good team like Electronite that can build a product like DK Arcade, which is essentially Donkey Kong done right, and just blow the original out of the water. You can go and play Donkey Kong on any system right now. You can play it on, well, any system it exists on. You can play it on the actual NES. You can play it on your computers. You can play it on the arcade. You can play Donkey Kong. But if you want to play a decent Donkey Kong on your Intellivision, then you have to go to the homebrews that put it out. This is a top quality product. This isn't like something that was just made in someone's basement. As I was getting to, the cost is expensive, sure. Typically these games go around 60 to 70 US, and then you have to pay for the awful shipping costs in most cases, and especially for someone like me in Canada, to ship anywhere, it just costs so much money, and if you want tracking, it's going to be a heck of a lot more. And I kind of mentioned that in my video. I talked about, shipping overseas. And so, yeah, and it just builds up. But anyway, so I responded to this comment. Let me go down here. What do you think would be a fair price? So, the fact is, like, he's called out saying that they're all overpriced. And I'm like, okay, it's overpriced. What would be the fair price then? If he thinks I'm ripping people off, or we're ripping people off, what would the fair price be? And so I was curious to know if he would respond, and he actually did, which is cool. He said, we could compare many homebrews to free games available on the internet, or to some $2 games on a cell phone. I do understand the cart and box manual and overlays are not free and does cost money to produce, but I think many homebrews should not even be sold because they are crap, really. Someone always ready to waste some cash out there. And we've talked about this. I've talked about this. Mike's Gaming Gala talked about this. A few other YouTubers who are into the Intellivision scene, we've talked about this. And, the having a little bit more control over the quality of game, the type of game that gets released. We kind of need to tighten our belts a little bit more and try not to put out too many games, because we are talking about a limited market here, a small shrinking market of people that buy these games. And so, you got your 20 to 40 people who are automatically going to buy no matter what you put the Intellivision brand on. And then you got the others who are going to look at it and be like, do I really want that game? If I don't want that game, I'm not going to spend the money. They really have to think about it. And then, so after he said that, the price is still a personal thing on how you value the items to yourself. But personally, I think no Intellivision homebrew game should be sold much more than what it costs to produce, plus maybe a $10 profit. A ROM for $10 seems reasonable. The thing is that there are mad buyers willing to pay anything, and some sellers ready to make a lot of cash out of it. Yeah, again, well, to kind of go back to that profit thing, the $10 profit. You know, to I've spoken with William from Electronite, and he's told me the cost on some of the games that he put out there, like Defender of the Crown, how much it costs for the programming, how much it costs to get the graphics guy and the sound person, and how much it costs for the manuals and all that stuff, and the amount of copies he needs to sell just to even break even. And a lot of the cases is he is literally just breaking even. In fact, with Homebrew Inc. doing Napoleonic Wars, the original batch that got sold, it was it was the same thing. We were just trying to get enough to even just break even before we even start making any kind of profits. And then there's how much profit should you get it? You break it all down. The game costs this much, and in the end, we're lucky if we can get to like a $20 profit. So I think that there is an issue on the amount of money it costs to put out these games. We are small groups of people. We're not big companies that can buy everything for a nickel. So it is kind of tricky, and to basically say a $10 profit is pretty much just working for free. And I know some people will argue with that and say, well, this is your passion. You should do it for your hobby. You shouldn't even be making any money. It's the same thing with YouTube. I know a lot of people say YouTubers shouldn't make any money. They shouldn't be selling stuff. They should just be doing it for the fun. But I mean, to each his own, right? There are people who will do this stuff for free. There are a lot of programmers out there that will just make a game and give it away, and they don't care. So where were we? Making a lot of willing to pay anything, and some sellers ready to make a lot of cash. We can see this with some games sold with grading on eBay like $30,000. I am fully against all that crap. I don't like the grading idea. I think that's just stupid. And I don't blame sellers want to make money, but I don't think those items are worth the price sometimes. Absolutely with you 100% right there. Games, in my opinion, are meant to be played. I typically don't care about the condition of boxes, and I don't worry about grading. If I can't get the box, I'll take the cartridge. Games are to be played. We put a lot of them on our shelf because we have a lot of games and not a lot of time to play on them. But anyways, I just thought that this was a great comment, and it's something to talk about for sure. It kind of goes back into the discussions we were having about what games should be released, and should we really hunker down on what we're going to put out there, because these games are going to be expensive. They're always going to be expensive. Unless somebody wants to work for free, unless we find programmers who don't want to get paid, we find printers who will give away manuals for free and boxes for free, and that's just not going to happen. We're not going to get to that world. We're not, people are going to want something. They're going to want something for their efforts, right? They're going to want something for their time. They're going to want something, whatever. I mean, some people actually will say, well, I'll do this part for free. Just give me a game in the end. Okay. That's their payment. That's what they want, and that's their choice. Others are different. Anyways, let me know what you think. I kind of rambled on about this for quite a long time. Always like to hear what you have to say. Comments are awesome, so just keep them coming. They really help people out, especially people like me. And I always like to hear what you have to say. Anyways, hope you subscribe. We'll talk to you later.